Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Necropop Digital. I'm Neo. In this video I want to show you how to use the wheel effect to create a bounce so you can have strips of light bouncing off of each other, similar to what a Cylon effect would be on their visor. So let's go ahead and get into it. First I will select my design layout here. Okay, now that we're in the design layout, you'll see that I've created a new effect here. First thing I want to do is rename this to Maliwan Bounce. Okay. And it's going to save that as it is. And I'm going to go ahead and select everything and then delete. And that's going to get rid of the effect. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Control and I'm going to use my mouse wheel to scroll into my fan and space and left click to drag it to where I want to see it. It helps with the lag a little bit, not much, but you'll see what I'm talking about. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a wheel effect, and then I'm going to scroll out a bit so I can see my wheel node here, and I'm going to put it in this corner. Because for whatever reason, this effect on my fans anyway, and it probably has to do with this primary color pin. Probably, you know, it only likes to be in the corner. Depending on where you put this wheel, that's your center point. So that's where the wheel starts. So if I have it in the center, it'll respond differently, vice versa, right? Because this is the center point. At any rate, so I'm going to left click away from that center point, because if you grab the center point on accident, you see how it grabbed it and moved it? You don't want that. So I got to put that right back where it was, right? But if you completely bypass it, you're okay. So I'll select everything and I'm going to apply a 5-color band, right? And that's going to give me 5 stops. That's because it'll be easier to work with. So this center band, I'm going to select it. I'm going to make it orange. Then I'm going to make this one orange as well. Or should I make that transparent? Actually, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and make a stop, then make it orange. Then I'm going to drag this yellow one as close to it as possible. Right? Then I'm going to delete this one, this far left one. And the reason why we're deleting it is because you can only have up to 7 stops per effect. So now that I've got the yellow selected, here I'm going to change it to transparent. So now I'm going to do the same thing. Now, anytime you're going to add a stop, if you want it in between 2 other stops, you want to always select the leftmost one that it's going to be between. So or that it'll be the left side of what's going to be in between. So I select it and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to add it. Boom. Now it's in the center of these 2, right? So now I can take the green one and slide it over, make it transparent, grab this far right one and delete it. Now, this band is too wide. You can see that in the port here, in the viewport, one's trailing. That's because it's a little too wide for what it needs to be. So I'm going to drag it in just a bit. And I'm going to do the same thing over on this side. Trying to keep them as equidistant as possible to each other. That will tighten it up a little bit. That looks a lot better. And it looks like the second one's trailing, but if I crank up the speed, you'll see it changes. It doesn't do that anymore. So we'll drag this back down to 60, and then we'll leave it. Okay. So now we have our colors set. Now I'm going to right click, grab all those again, right click, duplicate layer. Now I have the same effect, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'll reselect them and I'll change its direction. Now you have a bounce because they're actually flowing through each other, but it looks like a bounce. It's kind of a neat little trick. To finish this off, I'm going to go ahead and add a static layer. And I'm going to select it. I'm going to grab all the colors and I'm going to change it to blue. And then I'm going to drag it below everything because hierarchy does matter. Whichever layer's on top can actually interfere and cause issues with the top one because it's covering it, basically. It'd be like taking a sheet of paper and putting it on top of another sheet of paper. So since we've got that established, I am going to figure out which wheel is which. Now, this was going to the right, so I'm going to name this one, let's name it wheel R, right? Because it's going towards the right. Actually, since it's going towards the right, we'll name it wheel left. And since this one is going toward, or on the right, going towards the left, we'll name that wheel R. And just because I'm left-handed, I will drag this up. Now, I'll create a new group. I'm going to name this group. This is actually mid-fan. And select it. Now that I think about it, I'm going to be making some changes. So before I get into actually dropping this in a group, first I'll grab this group and I'll drop it to the bottom. Now, I want these colors to be reversed. So the best way to address this, and I should address this right away, is this will be orange. Right? And trust me, there's a reason why I'm doing this, because I'm trying to show you that it's that easy to change things around. Now I'm going to select this color band here and select the left middle, or the left color actually. And we're just going to change this whole color band to blue. Right? And we're going to do the same thing on this side. We will be doing this again, so. And you'll notice that as you progress, oops, I boo-booed. I'm so used to selecting orange. Okay, now here we go. Okay. Now we should be good. Let's make sure I'll select the one. Okay. Now I'll grab and I'm going to crank it up. And I'm going to do the same thing for these. Looks like it's working okay. I can't tell. Hopefully. Okay. That's good. So now I'm going to come over here to the first one. I did that because I was going to save it, but yeah, I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do now, I was going to apply it and so you could see it, but well, yeah, let's do that. I want to make sure that the effect is actually working like it should. Now we should see that center one doing its thing. It looks like it is. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to back off a bit, just about there. And we're going to repeat that. So I'm going to duplicate the effect. Well, actually, you know what? Before I do that, I want to test a theory. So I'm going to drag this into the folder. I'm going to drag this into the folder. And I'm going to drag this into the folder. Then open it up, and there we go. So now I should be able to duplicate that. Let's see if it works. And there we go. Mid fan 1. Okay. So now this one will be top fan. And I'll open it up. And I will take my color wheel or my center point, and I'll move it to this fan. And I'll do the same thing for this one. Then I will grab both of these fans, and you'll get a question mark. That's because two devices are on the same exact thing, the same profile, whatever you want to call it, pattern, color pattern is what it is, yeah. And they really shouldn't be, but I mean, you can, but I'm going to go ahead. It just, if I would have done this without this, it just disappears. And you would have to make this color pattern all over again. But since I grabbed all of them and did it, it kept the pattern in its little memory slot here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in here. You know, when Razer decides to, or Synapse decides to do something instead of lag and lock up, which really annoys me, but you know, I mean, it is what it is, right? I am going to grab this one and delete it, since we don't need it. And I can do the same thing for this one too. Today, Synapse, let's go. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, there we go. So this static layer, I don't even need to worry about it. I can just grab it. I can remove it. I would really like to know why this is lagging so much. Come on. anything to ruin a video. It's getting worse is the problem. That's supposed to be blue. This is what's frustrating. The best software to work with your lights, and it is ungodly slow. But I can't really complain too much. Maybe if I zoom in there, maybe that'll be better. I don't know. Who knows? So now I have to change this color to orange. Oh, you know what I can do? I can disable that mid fan. That's probably part of why it's doing it. Any day now, any day now, I'm going to punch your face, do punch your face. Okay, there we go. So let's see here. I selected the wrong one. There, it's a little better now. All right. So I need to grab this one and grab this one. Are you serious? Really? Okay. So we'll do this. 1 and 2. How do you like that? How do you like that? Really? Oh, the bugs. And it's not even a bug. It's because I keep going in here. That's the problem. So we'll select all that. Change it. Make that go bye-bye. Select. I apologize for my consternation, but yeah, it gets annoying. I don't know why it's so slow. It shouldn't be. Maybe it's just not optimized. Seems to. Not red? What are you doing? Chiriba. There we go. Now we're cooking with some bacon grease there. And make sure that's still red or orange, whatever. Yeah, we're good. So we got, let's see here. Aha. You see what happens? It's because I wasn't paying attention and I didn't finish it. That one's totally my fault. So orange. And orange. And we should be good. Make sure that's going the right direction. And we are good to go. So now we will, that's top fan, right? Whoop. Now we got to do one more. So I will duplicate that. Rename it bottom fan. And I'll drag it all the way to the bottom. Okay, so now I'll open it up. Select static. Grab all these. Delete. Grab all these. Change it to blue. Now this is where it gets a little tricky, because I have to select 1 and 3. Change it. Then grab these, remove. One and 3. Change it. Remove. And the last thing I have to do is move this over. And that should do it. Now I just have to ratchet that up to 360. We're going to make sure that this one here is set to 360, and it is not. That one is. Okay. We're good. We are good. Now we got one more we can do. And that's the CPU fan. So because I want the CPU fan to be similar to the center fan, I will duplicate the mid fan, which it will then put another one on there. And I'm just going to name it CPU fan. Okay. And actually have it like that. So I will grab, what is this? This is going to be strip. Looks like 2 and 5. Change. Remove. Strip 2, 5. Change. Remove. The static should be this, that one doesn't matter. Such an easy one to change. And there we go. Once again, move center point. And that should do it. And I will put CPU fan at the bottom. Let it take the 2 hours it's going to take. And then turn these on. And in theory here, we should be good. If I pull out of this, all 4 fans are done. So let's go ahead and save the profile. And you should see them all light up and do things. And there you go. And that's what it looks like. Looks pretty good, huh? Not too bad. I apologize for the moaning, but yeah, it gets a little frustrating when you're trying to work with this stuff, and I don't have a whole lot of patience to begin with. Now, the next tutorial is I'm gonna see if I can't work with the base station a little bit. There was something that I wanted to do. So something to do. With some of these effects, you can trick them into thinking they're other effects. One of which is the wave feature. The wave effect, it's like it's a wave, right? It does a wave thing. But if you know how to set it up properly, you can actually make it do more like a legitimate breathing effect. Instead of it going from whatever color you select to black, you can make it go from whatever color you select to a darker version of that color. For instance, I could take that Maliwan Royal blue, apply a wave to it, and configure it in such a way to where it breathes into a darker blue. So it's not completely black. That way there, and you can also, within those parameters, you can adjust the speed a little bit better and dial it in. That'll be in the next one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this particular video. I apologize for the complaining once again, but it is what it is. And yeah, anyways, thank you for watching. If you liked the video, do me a favor, please, and hit the like button. If you like the content, do me a favor and hit the sub button. Anyways, y'all take care, stay safe, and I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.